The first time I felt my stomach drop, it was because of a green check mark. I was standing in the cereal aisle at Target with my phone in one hand and a box of Cheerios in the other. I had my usual list open. Milk, eggs, diapers, oatmeal, coffee. Normal life. I tapped my bank app to see if my paycheck had hit, because I like to know what I am working with before I grab anything extra. My card balance was there, but the available number was smaller than it should have been. Not by a few dollars. By a lot. Then a little notification popped up like it was doing me a favor. New spending limit approved. Approved by who, I wondered, even though I already knew the answer. I just stood there with the cart half in the aisle, people moving around me, and my heart started doing that tight, fast thing. It was not fear of danger. It was fear of being wrong. Fear of having to ask permission for something that used to be mine. When I got home, Ethan was in the kitchen like he always was on Fridays, rinsing blueberries in a colander. He looked domestic and calm. He had on the soft gray shirt I liked, the one that made him look like a guy in a commercial who makes pancakes and remembers birthdays. "Hey," he said like nothing was different. "How was Target?" I put the bags down and tried to keep my voice normal. My card declined for a second. The app says there is a spending limit. He did not freeze. He did not panic. He did not even act confused. He just nodded like I was finally noticing a new light bulb he had installed. "Yeah," he said. "I set that up. It is not a big deal." I stared at him. "You set it up on my account?" "Our account," he corrected gently, like I had used the wrong word for something simple. "It is just a guardrail. You told me you wanted less stress." I opened my mouth then closed it, because he was right about one thing. I had said I wanted less stress. I am not someone who thinks I need to control everything. I am the kind of person who meal preps on Sundays and feels proud of it, then forgets a dentist appointment and laughs at myself. I like stability, but I am not rigid. When Ethan and I moved in together a little over a year ago, it felt like we were building something steady. I work as a scheduler at a dental office. He works in sales, mostly from home. We live in a small rental house outside of Columbus with a little patch of grass that we both pretend is a yard. We do not have kids. We talked about it someday. We have a dog, Luna, who thinks every package delivery is a personal event. Back when Ethan first offered to help with budgeting, I was relieved. I had student loans and a car payment. I was trying to put money into savings and I felt like I was always guessing. Ethan seemed confident about money in a way I was not. He liked spreadsheets. He liked plans. He talked about future you like future me was someone he already knew. "It would be so easy," he said that first time, sitting next to me on the couch with my laptop open. "We just set up categories. Groceries, gas, fun, savings. Then we do autopay and you stop thinking about it. I can take that off your plate." Off my plate. That phrase sounded like love. It sounded like teamwork. So I gave him my login. I did it while we watched a show like it was nothing. I remember him smiling when he typed it in, quick and efficient, like he was locking a door. In the beginning, it really did help. The bills got paid on time. The savings account number went up. Ethan would high-five me when we stayed under budget for groceries. He made it feel like we were winning together. Then the questions started. Small ones. "Why did you spend $12 at Starbucks?" "It was 2 drinks. I met Jenna on my break." "Could you have made coffee at home?" "Yes," I said, and I laughed because it felt silly. "But I was meeting a friend." He smiled like he understood. "I get it. I just want us to be intentional." Intentional. Another good word. Then it was receipts. Not demanded. Suggested. "Hey, can you take a picture of receipts and send them to me? That way I can track categories. It will make things easier." I did it because I could see how it helped his spreadsheet. I did it because he sounded like he was doing a job for both of us. Then it was the shared card. "It is simpler if we both use the same card," he said. "No more juggling. One account, one plan." I handed him my debit card that night like we were swapping something. He slid it into his wallet and gave me the new one, the one he had ordered with both our names on the account. It felt adult. It felt like a step forward. The spending limit in the Target aisle was the first time it did not feel adult. Felt like a leash. I leaned my hip against the kitchen counter and tried again. "Ethan, you did not tell me." He kept rinsing blueberries. I did not think you would care. I care, I said, and my voice came out sharper than I meant it to. I softened it fast. I just want to know when things change. He finally looked up and his expression was calm, almost patient. You have been stressed about money. You have said it 100 times. I am trying to help. But you did it without me. He tilted his head like he was considering me. Are you saying you do not trust me? That question landed heavy because it was not really a question. It was a trap with a polite bow on top. No, I said quickly. That is not what I am saying. Okay, he said like we had solved it. Then it is fine. He dried his hands, walked over and kissed my forehead. It was a gentle gesture, and it made my skin crawl a little, because it felt like a reward for agreeing. Listen, he said. We can talk about it later. I have a call in 10. He picked up his laptop and disappeared into his office. I stood there staring at the blueberries. My chest felt tight, and I told myself I was being dramatic. It was a spending limit. People do that. Couples do that. It is normal. But my hands were shaking a little when I put the groceries away. That night after dinner I tried to bring it up again. I told myself I would be calm and reasonable. I would use a nice tone. I would not accuse him. I would just ask for partnership. Can we talk about the spending limit? I asked while Luna snored on the rug. Ethan did not look up from his phone. Sure. I want to be included in decisions like that, I said. It makes me feel weird to find out at the store. He sighed like I was asking him to fix something tedious. Okay, so what is the problem? We have a budget. The problem is I did not agree to a limit, I said. And I do not know what it is. It is $500 a week, he said. My mouth went dry. For everything? For variable spending, he said like he was explaining a basic concept to someone slow. Groceries, gas, household stuff. If you plan, it is plenty. If I plan, I repeated. I hated how small my voice sounded. He put his phone down and leaned forward, elbows on his knees. Babe, you are overthinking this. You do not like dealing with money. You have said that. I am taking care of it. I like dealing with my own money, I said. I do not like surprises. He held my gaze and his eyes looked warm but fixed. Then do not make it a surprise. Just ask me before you spend. My stomach flipped. Ask you. Just a quick text, he said, still calm. Hey, I want to spend $60 at Target. Is that okay? That kind of thing. I stared at him. Ethan, I am an adult. So am I, he said. And I am the one who is making sure we do not end up in a mess. That was the first time he used that tone. Not loud. Not mean. Certain. Like the conversation was over, and he was letting me know he had already decided. I tried to laugh again to make it less serious. I do not want to have to ask permission to buy groceries. He did not laugh with me. Then stop framing it like permission. It is teamwork. Teamwork. Another good word. Except now it tasted bad. I went to bed that night with my thoughts spinning. I replayed the conversation and tried to find the place where I had turned it into a fight. I told myself I should have explained it better. I should have used different words. Ethan does not like accusations. Ethan likes solutions. The next week I started doing what he suggested just to prove to myself it was not a big deal. Hey, I need to get gas and I am stopping at the pharmacy. Probably around $40. I texted at lunch. He replied right away. Okay. Keep the receipt. I did it. I kept the receipt. I took a photo. I sent it like a student turning in homework. It was embarrassing, but I told myself it was temporary. Once he saw I could stay intentional, he would relax. But the rules did not relax. They multiplied. If I bought lunch at work, he asked why I did not bring leftovers. If I bought a new notebook, he asked what happened to the one I already had. If I got coffee with Jenna, he asked why Jenna could not come to our house instead. It was never one big blow-up. It was always calm questions. Calm suggestions. Calm disappointment. And I started adjusting my life around them without even noticing. I stopped buying things that might lead to a conversation. I started leaving my phone face up on the counter, because if I left it in my purse he would ask what I was hiding. I started sending him my schedule unprompted because if I did not he would text, "Where are you?" And I would feel that little spike of panic like I had missed a deadline. One Friday, Jenna asked if I wanted to meet after work for a quick drink. Just one. A normal thing. I stared at the text for a long time. Then I replied, I can't tonight. Maybe next week. Jenna sent a sad face and then, is everything okay? I almost typed yes. My fingers hovered over the screen. Because what was I supposed to say? My boyfriend cares too much? My boyfriend helps so much it feels like I cannot breathe? I put my phone away and told myself I was being ungrateful. That evening, Ethan came into the living room with his laptop and sat beside me. He looked cheerful like he had good news. I made an adjustment, he said. My body tensed before my mind caught up. An adjustment to what? To our accounts, he said. It is going to be so much simpler. I swallowed. What did you do? He turned the laptop toward me. On the screen was a bank page with a list of accounts. My checking account was there, but it looked different. The name on it was not just mine anymore. I added myself as an authorized user, he said. That way, if anything happens, I can handle it. It is safer. I stared at the screen. Ethan, that was my account. It is our money, he said, still pleasant. We live together. We are building a life. Why are you acting like I am stealing from you? I am not acting, I said, and my voice shook, which made me hate myself. I just do not understand why you keep doing things without asking me first. He leaned back and crossed his arms, like he was settling into a familiar role. Because when I ask, you get emotional. That word hit like a slap even without a raised voice. I am emotional because you are taking control of things that are mine, I said. He shook his head slowly, disappointed. See? This is what I mean. You always make it sound ugly. It feels ugly, I said. He looked at me for a long moment, then smiled a little like he was choosing kindness. I think you are stressed. I think work is getting to you. You have been snappy lately. I stared at him. I am not snappy. I am scared. He blinked once like the word did not fit the scene he was writing. Of what? I opened my mouth and nothing came out. Because the fear did not have a neat label. It was the fear of losing my own choices. The fear of waking up one day and realizing I could not move without asking. The fear that if I said the wrong thing, he would turn that calm voice on me until I doubted my own memory. He reached out and touched my knee gentle. You are safe, he said. I am taking care of you. The room felt too quiet. Luna's nails clicked on the floor as she walked to the kitchen. The refrigerator hummed. My heart thudded. I forced myself to speak carefully. Taking care of me would mean asking me. He withdrew his hand. His face did not change much, but something cooled behind his eyes. You know what? He said. Fine. If you want full control, you can have it. But do not come crying to me when you mess things up. I have never messed things up, I said. He stood up, laptop in hand. You have no idea how close you were, he said casually like he was talking about weather. I saw your spending before we moved in. If I had not stepped in, you would still be living paycheck to paycheck. My mouth went dry. You were looking at my spending before we moved in? He paused, and I watched him realize he had said too much. Then he smiled again, smooth. You gave me your login. Remember? I was helping. No, I said slowly. Not then. I gave it to you later. After we moved in. He held my gaze, calm as ever. Are you sure? The question made my skin prickle because for a second my brain tried to rewind time and check. Like I needed proof of my own past. I stood up too suddenly. Ethan, I said, and my voice was low. When did you start watching me? His expression stayed mild, but the air changed. Watching you, he repeated softly. I am not watching you. I am caring about you. There is a difference. I took a step toward him, not aggressive, just desperate for clarity. Then tell me the truth. When did this start? He looked at me for a long beat. Then he glanced at his phone on the coffee table, like he had just remembered something. I have to take this, he said. He picked it up. The screen lit up. I caught a glimpse of the name at the top before he turned away. Jenna. My stomach dropped so fast it felt like I might fall. He walked toward the hallway, already answering, voice warm and friendly, like nothing was happening. Hey Jenna. Yeah, I'm glad you called. I stood frozen in the living room, staring at his back, listening to him speak to my friend with an easy charm I had not heard all night. And then I heard him say my name casual and light. "She's right here," he said into the phone. "She's been having a rough time. I'm just trying to help her." My throat went tight. My hands curled into fists at my sides. Help her. I took a step forward, then another, as if my body had decided for me. Ethan looked over his shoulder at me, still smiling into the phone, and raised his eyebrows like he was warning me to behave. I reached for the phone in his hand, and he pulled it away just out of reach. The click of the door closing behind him sounded louder than it should have. Ethan stepped into the hallway with the phone still pressed to his ear, his voice low and calm, like he was soothing a nervous client. "Yeah," he said. "She's just overwhelmed. I've got it under control." I stood in the living room, my heart pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. My name was floating down the hallway, mixed with reassurance and concern, and I was not part of the conversation at all. I waited. I do not know why. Maybe I expected him to come back in and explain. Maybe I expected him to realize how wrong this looked and stop. Instead, I heard him laugh softly. "No, nothing like that," he said. "She just takes things personally sometimes." Something inside me shifted. It was not a snap. It was more like a slow crack. When he finally came back into the living room, his face was relaxed, like he had just finished something productive. "That was Jenna," he said. "I know," I said. He nodded, unfazed. "She was worried about you." I stared at him. "You had no right to talk to her about me." "I did not say anything private," he replied. "I was just being honest." "Honest about what?" I asked. "That you have been stressed," he said. "That you get anxious about money and structure." She asked why you have been distant. My hands were cold. "You told her I am anxious?" "I told her you have a lot on your plate," he said. "I made you sound good." I shook my head slowly. "You made me sound incapable." He frowned like I was twisting his words. "That is not fair." "What would be fair," I said, "is you not going behind my back." He exhaled, long and patient. "You are doing that thing again." "What thing?" "Turning care into control," he said. "I am not your enemy." I laughed once, sharp and humorless, before I could stop myself. "You just spoke to my friend like I was a problem to manage." "She called me," he said. "What was I supposed to do? Hang up?" "Yes," I said. "Or tell her to talk to me." He looked genuinely confused. "Why would I do that when I can help?" That word again. Help. Followed me everywhere now. I went into the kitchen because I needed space. My chest felt tight, and I did not trust myself to stay calm if I kept looking at him. I gripped the counter and tried to slow my breathing. Behind me, I heard him moving around, putting his laptop down, straightening things that did not need to be straightened. It was what he did when he wanted to show he was composed. "You are blowing this up," he said gently. "We had a good system. Why are you trying to ruin it?" I turned around. Because it does not feel like a system anymore. Feels like surveillance. He smiled slightly, like he was humoring a child. "That is dramatic." "Is it?" I asked. "You track my spending. You ask where I am. You talk to my friends about me. You change accounts without telling me. What would you call that?" He leaned against the counter across from me. "I would call it responsibility." "For who?" I asked. "For us," he said. I shook my head. "You never say for me. You always say for us. But it is your rules. Your limits. Your decisions." His jaw tightened for just a second. "Someone has to lead." That sentence sat between us, heavy and unmistakable. "I am not your employee," I said quietly. "I am your partner. And partners listen to each other," he replied. "Which you are not doing." I felt my eyes sting, and I hated that too. I wiped them quickly. Listening is not the same as obeying. He straightened, his voice still calm but firmer now. "No one said obey." "Then why do I feel like I am always about to get in trouble?" I asked. He did not answer right away. He studied my face like he was deciding which version of himself to use next. "Look," he said finally. "I think you are spiraling. And when you spiral, you look for someone to blame. Right now, that someone is me." "That is not true," I said. Isn't it? He asked. Think about it. Before me you were stressed all the time. Bills, deadlines, decisions. Now things are organized and suddenly that feels threatening to you. I opened my mouth then closed it. Because part of me still wanted to believe him. Part of me wondered if I really was sabotaging stability because chaos felt familiar. You do not trust me, he continued. That hurts. I trusted you, I said. I trusted you with my money, with my life. That is why this hurts. He softened his voice again. Then trust me now. I looked at him. Give me my account back. The room went very still. What? He said. I want my checking account back, I repeated. In my name only. No spending limits. No approvals. He laughed softly, shaking his head. That is not realistic. It is my money, I said. It is our household, he replied. You cannot just pull out because you are emotional. I felt something settle in my chest, heavy but clear. Then I need space. His eyes narrowed slightly. Space from what? From this, I said, gesturing between us. From the rules. From the monitoring. From feeling like I am being managed. He straightened fully now. You want to leave? I want to breathe, I said. He stared at me for a long moment, then nodded slowly. Okay. The word sounded too easy. Okay. I asked. Yes, he said. If you need space, take it. But let's be practical. My stomach tightened. What does that mean? It means we make a plan, he said. We do not do anything rash. I am not being rash, I said. You want to dismantle everything we built, he replied. That is rash. I grabbed my keys from the counter, more to have something in my hand than because I knew where I was going. I am going to stay with Jenna tonight. His face changed instantly. Not angry. Calculating. I do not think that is a good idea, he said. I paused. Why? Because she does not have the full picture, he said. She already thinks you are fragile. If you show up upset, it will confirm that. I stared at him. You told her I am fragile? I told her you are sensitive, he corrected. There is a difference. Ethan, I said, my voice shaking now. You are controlling the story. He sighed. I am protecting you. From who? I asked. He met my eyes. From yourself. That was it. That was the moment the confusion started to clear. I stepped toward the door. I am leaving. He moved faster than I expected and placed his hand on the doorframe, not touching me, but blocking the exit just enough to make a point. Do not do this, he said quietly. You will regret it. I felt fear rise in my chest, sharp and undeniable. Not because he was yelling or threatening, because he was so sure. I am going, I said. He lowered his hand slowly. Fine, he said. But we need to talk about money before you go. I stared at him. What? You cannot just walk out, he said. The account is shared. The bills are set. If you take money without planning, it will cause problems. I am not stealing, I said. I did not say that, he replied. I am just saying we need to agree on what you are allowed to take. Allowed. My hand started shaking again. You do not get to decide that. He looked at me with something close to pity. This is exactly why you need structure. I reached into my purse and pulled out my phone. My fingers were clumsy, but I unlocked it and opened my bank app. The screen loaded slowly. Too slowly. What are you doing? He asked. I am checking my balance, I said. The numbers appeared and my breath caught. The available balance was almost zero. What did you do? I whispered. He did not answer right away. He just watched my face. Ethan, I said louder now. What did you do? I moved the funds, he said calmly. Into savings. Into whose savings? I asked. Our savings, he replied. It is safer there. You cannot impulse spend it. I felt dizzy. You emptied my account. I protected it, he said. You were about to make a mistake. I looked at the door then back at him. I cannot leave without money. You can, he said gently. You just cannot take everything. I stared at him, my heart racing, my mind scrambling. This was not help. This was not care. This was a cage. I backed away slowly, my phone still in my hand, and for the first time I understood that if I stayed calm he would keep winning. And if I panicked he would use that too. I opened my mouth to say something, anything, and my phone buzzed with a new notification. The notification was from the bank. Transfer completed. My vision blurred for a second, like my body had not caught up with what my brain already knew. I scrolled, my fingers stiff. There it was in clean lines and polite fonts. My checking account balance sat at $11 and some cents. The savings account held everything else. An account I could see but not touch. You locked me out, I said. Ethan did not look alarmed. I did not lock you out. I safeguarded the money. I cannot access it, I said. That is the same thing. You can access it, he replied. With me. I felt heat rush to my face. That is control. That is partnership, he said, steady as ever. I looked at the door again. It had never felt far before. Now it might as well have been across a field. You planned this, I said slowly. You waited until I tried to leave. He tilted his head. I reacted to a situation. No, I said. You prepared for it. He did not deny it. That silence told me more than any argument could have. I took a step back, needing space, and bumped into the arm of the couch. Luna lifted her head, ears twitching, sensing the shift. She looked from me to Ethan, confused. Sit, Ethan told her softly. She obeyed. I wrapped my arms around myself. You cannot do this. I can, he said. And I did. You moved my money without my consent. You gave me access, he replied. You trusted me. I trusted you to help, I said. Not to trap me. His expression tightened just a little. You are being dramatic again. That word used to make me shrink. This time it made something harden inside me. I am going to Jenna's, I said. With or without money. He shook his head. You do not have gas. I froze. He was right. I had filled up 2 days ago. I had not even thought about it. You checked, I said. I pay attention, he corrected. I felt suddenly very tired. Why are you doing this? He softened his tone like he was explaining something important. Because you are acting impulsively. And impulsive decisions have consequences. I am trying to slow you down. I am not a child, I said. No, he agreed. You are just bad at long-term thinking. The cruelty of that landed quietly. He was not shouting. He was not insulting me outright. He was defining me. I sat down on the couch because my legs felt weak. Luna pressed against my knee, warm and solid. I put my hand on her head and focused on the simple feeling of fur. You cannot keep me here, I said. I am not keeping you, he replied. You are free to go whenever you want. Without money, I said. You have a roof, he said. Food. Safety. Time to calm down. I looked up at him. This is not safety. He sighed. You are spiraling. I closed my eyes for a moment and breathed in through my nose, out through my mouth, like I had learned years ago when anxiety first became a word doctors used with me. I needed to think clearly. Okay, I said quietly. He looked surprised. Okay. Yes, I said. I will stay tonight. His shoulders relaxed almost imperceptibly. Good. That is smart. But tomorrow, I continued, I want my money transferred back. And my account separated. He smiled, relieved. We can talk about it tomorrow. No, I said. We will do it tomorrow. His smile thinned. Let's not make demands. I am making boundaries, I said. He stood there for a moment, then nodded. Fine. We will revisit it. Revisit. Another word that meant delay. That night I barely slept. Ethan lay next to me like everything was normal, his breathing even. I stayed stiff on my side of the bed, staring at the dark. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the bank app. The zeroed balance. The calm way he had said he moved the money. Around 3 a.m, I quietly slid out of bed and went into the bathroom. I locked the door, sat on the floor, and hugged my knees. I opened my phone and scrolled through my contacts. Jenna. My mom. My sister. I hovered over Jenna's name, then stopped. Ethan had already spoken to her. He had already framed the story. I typed a message anyway, my fingers shaking. Hey, are you awake? I might need help. I stared at the screen waiting. No response. I deleted the message before it could send. I did not know why. Fear maybe. Or shame. In the morning, Ethan acted like nothing had happened. He made coffee. He fed Luna. He talked about his meetings for the day. I watched him move around the kitchen, efficient and calm, and felt like I was watching someone else's life. I have a call at 10, he said. Then we can look at the accounts. Before your call, I said. He glanced at me. That is not ideal. It is necessary, I replied. His jaw tightened. You are pushing. I am standing, I said. He stared at me for a long moment, then nodded once. Okay, let's do it. He opened his laptop at the table. I sat across from him, my hands folded tightly in my lap. The screen glowed between us like a referee. He logged into the bank. The savings account balance sat there, full and untouched. I want the transfer reversed, I said. He sighed. If I move it back, you promise you will not do anything rash? I promise nothing, I said. It is my money. That is not reassuring, he replied. Neither is this, I said, gesturing to the screen. He hesitated, then clicked. A form opened. He filled in numbers slowly, deliberately. Are you sure you want to do this? He asked. Yes, I said. He clicked submit. The page loaded. Then an error message appeared. He frowned. That's strange. What? I asked. It says there is a hold, he said. Probably a security thing. A hold. My chest tightened. Yeah, he said. Because of the transfer last night. It might take a couple of business days. A couple of days? I asked. 2 or 3, he said. Nothing to worry about. I stood up. That means I still cannot access my money. He looked at me calmly. For a short time. You knew this would happen, I said. He closed the laptop. I did not plan it that way. You always say that, I replied. He stood too, his voice firmer now. You need to stop accusing me. I need my money, I said. You need to calm down, he replied. I grabbed my purse. I am leaving. With what? He asked. With my phone, I said. And my dignity. He laughed softly like I was being dramatic again. You will be back. I turned to face him. You do not get to decide that. He crossed his arms. Where will you go? I did not answer. I did not know yet. I walked to the door, my heart pounding. My hand shook as I reached for the handle. Behind me, his voice was steady and confident. If you walk out like this, he said, you are proving me right. I paused with my hand on the door. And for a terrifying second, I wondered if he was right. I stood there with my hand on the door and felt that old pull. The one that told me to doubt myself before anything else. The one that asked if I was being unreasonable, if I was exaggerating, if I was about to ruin my own life because I could not manage my emotions. Then I noticed something small and ordinary. My keys were already in my hand. I had picked them up without thinking. My body had decided before my mind finished arguing. That mattered. I turned the handle and opened the door. The air outside felt cold and sharp, even though it was only early fall. It hit my face like a reset. I stepped onto the porch and pulled the door shut behind me before I could hesitate again. Ethan did not follow me. I stood there for a second, waiting for him to call my name, to tell me to come back, to soften his voice and offer a compromise. Nothing happened. The house was quiet. I walked to my car and got in. The gas light blinked on as soon as I started the engine. My chest tightened, but the car turned over just fine. I drove. I did not go far. I drove to the grocery store parking lot 3 blocks away, and sat there with the engine off. My hands were shaking so badly I had to sit on them. I opened my phone and called my sister. She answered on the second ring. Hey, she said. What's wrong? The sound of her voice broke something open in me. I need help, I said. I don't know what to do. Where are you? She asked immediately. I'm in my car, I said. I left. Are you safe? Yes, I said, and for the first time I meant it. Okay, she said. Stay where you are. I'm calling Mom. We'll figure it out. I sat there while my family did what Ethan had always told me I did not need. They listened. They believed me. They did not ask what I did to cause it. My sister drove down that afternoon. She brought cash. She brought her credit card. She brought certainty. We went back to the house together. Ethan was not there. He had left for a meeting, or maybe he just did not want to be present. I packed a suitcase with my sister standing in the doorway. Clothes, toiletries, documents, my passport, my birth certificate, things I suddenly understood were important. When Ethan came home that evening, I was sitting at the kitchen table with my sister beside me. He stopped short when he saw us. "What is this?" he asked. "This is me leaving," I said. He looked at my sister, then back at me. "You did not have to bring an audience." "I did," I said. "I needed witnesses." His jaw tightened. "You are making this bigger than it is." "No," I said. "I am seeing it clearly." He turned to my sister. "You don't know the full situation." She met his gaze evenly. "Then explain why her money is locked away from her." He opened his mouth, then closed it. "I was protecting her," he said finally. "She didn't ask for protection," my sister replied. I stood up. "I am not asking permission. I am telling you. I will be staying with my sister. My lawyer will contact you about separating finances." His eyes snapped back to me. "Lawyer?" "Yes," I said. "And if you move $1 more of my money, I will involve the bank directly." For the first time since I had known him, he looked uncertain. "You're overreacting," he said, but his voice was thinner now. "No," I said. "I underreacted for a long time." I picked up my suitcase. Luna whined softly, confused. I knelt down and hugged her, my face buried in her fur. "I will come back for you," I whispered. "I promise." Ethan watched, silent. When I walked out that time, my sister walked with me. The door closed behind us and I did not look back. The next weeks were hard. Not dramatic. Just hard. I slept on my sister's couch. I cried in her bathroom late at night. I felt stupid for not seeing things sooner. I felt guilty for leaving. I felt relief so strong it scared me. The bank situation took time. Paperwork. Calls. Proof. I learned how much power I had handed over by trusting someone else to handle things. I opened a new account in my name only. I redirected my paycheck. I froze shared access. Each small step felt like learning to walk again. Ethan sent messages. Calm ones at first. Reasonable ones. He said he missed me. He said we could fix this. He said he was hurt that I involved my family. Then the tone changed. He said I was ungrateful. He said I ruined everything. He said no one else would put up with me. I stopped responding. I told my friends the truth one by one. Not all at once. Just enough. The right people stayed. The rest faded away, and that was okay. I moved into a small apartment 2 months later. It smelled like fresh paint and nothing else. The first night I sat on the floor with takeout and ate straight from the container. No one commented. No one tracked it. No one asked for a receipt. I cried then too. Not because I was sad. Because I was free. Looking back, I understand something I did not then. Control does not arrive with force. It arrives with concern. Sounds reasonable. It wears calm language. Tells you it knows better than you do. And it grows when you doubt yourself. I do not doubt myself anymore. I check my bank app when I want to. I meet friends without explaining. I make mistakes and learn from them. I breathe. And every time I tap my card and it goes through, I remember the woman in the cereal aisle, frozen and confused. I wish I could tell her this. You are not overreacting. You are waking up.